Hello and welcome back to How to Level Up Fast, looking at the Rogue today. So, what's going on with Rogue? Well, Rogue is I played Rogue a lot. I've always really enjoyed playing Rogue. This is obviously Miracle Rogue, you can see here. So, basically, like, Rogue is a pretty good deck to play, pretty fun deck to play. Shadow Strike is pretty awesome. You can actually deal the Shadow Strike directly to the face if they've still got 30 health for whatever reason. You probably won't do that, but it's still quite funny that you can do that. What it means, of course, is that you could get a ridiculous combo. I mean, when you think about some of the ridiculous combos you can get, I mean, can you imagine, you know, for instance, that could do 13 damage with Malagos, couldn't it, with a prep? You could do 13 damage with Malagos with a prep, and then, you know, it's just ridiculous. And then you could do, say, another 8 with a Sinister Strike, another prep. You know, you could do another 17 with a Sinister. Yeah, funny enough, if you do Eviscerate for 9 damage. No, Eviscerate would be. Oh no, it wouldn't be. It would only be 8. And then with this, you'd get 8 as well, wouldn't you? Yeah. So yeah, you get 16 out of it. And then you could get 13 with the Shadow Strike. So yeah, you could get 29. But yeah, there's various different things you can do. If you manage to use Hearthstone in it, then it's ridiculous, obviously, because you can get 8 with each one. That's like 16 damage with no combo on if you happen to have both of them when you do Hearthstone. Pretty awesome. The Farseer, very important card in a lot of these sorts of decks. Early on, you have to look at what's the best way to. I like to play Van Cleef on a board which has got a bit of something to it. Maybe with SI7s on there. Tomb Pillager, very nice card to play against Paladin. If you're playing against Paladin, just put the Tomb Pillager, just do nothing apart from destroy their minions. I like to always just armor up and hit them in the face regardless. If you've got nothing to play, why not just hit them in the face? If you can't kill their minions, you can't do anything else. You're not guaranteed to get deadly poison because you only got one of them. So why not just hit them in the face? You know, with that 1 damage. I mean. There's so many rogue decks you play, and so many will just armor up and do nothing. But I just think, well, it's 1 damage, just hit them in the face. So yeah, that's pretty useful to do that. Fan of Knives, obviously you want to keep this against Paladin as well. A lot of these cards, they've just got this perfect synergy against Paladin. You know, if they put down there's a 5 cost new card which makes 5 1/1s, and they're obviously going to put it down. They're going to expect to do the whatever the card is, was it a 2/5 for 5 that does +2/+2 for the whole lot? The Fan of Knives, it's you know, that's ridiculous value. Obviously with Gadget Sand, Gadget Sand is very useful with Tomb Pillager. As soon as Tomb Pillager dies, you can get the Gadget Sand out. And yeah, and you always have to see the value of the Gadget Sand. You can even if you're in a losing position. Just by doing it, if you can get, I mean, often, for instance, if you can combo with any kind of draw card, like a Shiv or a Fan of Knives, that's 2 cards, you know, for nothing. And then, of course, if you haven't got a prep in your hand, you can get a prep in your hand, and then it just carries on like that. I do like to play Hearthstone as early as possible, so always keep that in the early hand. Like I say, with Van Cleef is. I don't know. I don't like to get it out as a 4/4. The great thing about Van Cleef though is that even if it does get taken like with a, you know, it's only a 3 cost card. It's such an interesting card, Van Cleef. Even if it did get taken by, say, an Entomb, you can often get ridiculous value out of Van Cleef. There can be like, you know, they can throw like 3 or 4 spells at it, or minions, or they just throw whatever they can at it. Especially if you're getting it out between the 8/8. You know, 8/8 or above, and really you should be able to get it out at 8/8. It's not, you know, it's not that much. So, especially when you look at these sort of mana cover deck, a lot of, you know, what's that? 22 cards, 3 mana or less. So yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot to it there. Prep. You see, the thing about prep, right, is that sometimes, very occasionally, it actually has got value very early game. If you really think, you know, I don't like to do this. You know, normally, right, obviously you just play SI7, you just play it flat, don't you? if you think, oh, you think, oh, this opponent's doing absolutely nothing. Sometimes you might want to play it flat. Sometimes you might want to just keep hitting them in the face. Against warrior that does nothing. That's the thing. I often find very. It often can be quite irritating if you're constantly playing like a deck and literally for 5 turns they're just using their hero power. Because then I think like this game is going to go ridiculously long. Then again, with a control deck with Malagos there, it's not so bad. But still, you do actually want to start the game rather than just it being like constant like really long turns checking that you haven't got 10 cards. So yeah, I like to get a Tomb Pillager out. I think it gets good value. But yeah, especially if you keep on hitting them in the face with your hero power, that's quite useful as well to make sure they can't do any of the shield slam stuff. SI7 though, like I was trying to say though, sometimes, very occasionally, you see, if you've got no backstab and say you start getting sort of like 3/2s coming at you, very occasionally you're going to really need to use the combo effect of SI7 if you did happen to have a preparation. It's not something which is particularly common, not something particularly advised, but you very occasionally will have to do that. And yeah, and keep in mind the role of Blood Mage Thalnos. Thalnos, because of the power of Malagos, Thalnos is not so critical a card, like for instance in the Mage deck that I showed, where Thalnos is a critical card. With a Malagos deck though, Thalnos is not so critical, because Malagos is going to be the one that's doing all the damage. So whether you get 8 damage from it, and remember also you got the Azure Drake as well. So there's 4 spell power minions in the deck. So that will get the Sinister Strike to 9 or whatever, and so on. So and the combo here, can get obviously much bigger and get to 10 if you had both Malagos and something else out. So yeah, you have to keep in mind that Sap again is really not. Sap is when you're building up for the finish, really. So this is the thing. If you have the choice between doing a Sap and doing SI7 with a prep to get rid of a 3/2, I would always go for the SI7 with a prep because I don't want to use that Sap early. Because using a Sap early is a waste of time. Sap is such a powerful card that just using it on something on a 3/2 on something very basic at the beginning of the game is not worth it. So you want to do anything, even though it might seem like it's a bad idea. Remember, of course, that with Thaurissan you will be able to get nice combos as long as you've got, and obviously, I mean, what I tend to do, I just keep Thaurissan and Malagos from the beginning. Doesn't matter. Obviously, you get both of them. I mean, that's a little bit more. I don't know. It really depends, though. It really does depend because you really have to think about the likelihood of the kind of class. You can predict, in a sense. I suppose with something like with Mage, you don't know whether they're playing tempo or they're playing control. That might be a bit more difficult to predict something like that. And similar maybe for Warlock as well. And I mean Hunter. Don't get that many. I've noticed there has been a little bit of resurgence with Hunter, maybe playing some more. There are some more rush decks out there, but again, nerf to Knife Juggler and stuff like that, and Leper Gnome, which were key cards and that. And I don't know. I mean, but yeah, the Drake is very useful. Really, the best value you get out of Backstab is you want to be hitting something in the face. For instance, a really nice play you can do is you hit something in the face. Something's got 4 health, you backstab it. For instance, say you've got 8 mana, you Drake, backstab for 3, hit it in the face, Farseer, so you've got 4/4 and a 3/3 up, and then you just killed a minion with 4 health. Be very, very powerful, that sort of thing. Again, another thing to keep in mind is don't always just dump out the shivs. Don't just do 1 damage to the face just for an extra card. You're not that. It's not in terms of, again, in comparison to the Mage, you don't need the cards that much. Alright, you don't want to really try and draw through your hand super quick. Draw through the cards super quick. You don't need it that quick. Obviously, if you're playing a Priest, Fan of Knives is not going to do anything anyway. Alright, so you may as well just throw it out for an extra card. Obviously, you can get a combo with the Gadget Sound, that's even better. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. For Gadget Sand, really, you're looking at these 2 or less spells for the combos. A really good combo. Really, what you want to do with Gadget Sand. I've seen there's some interesting variants as well that came out with Conceal and all this sort of stuff. Not really ones which work really. I don't think. I think maybe that's just the beginning of the thing. But yeah, really, Gadget Sand works best with Sap. Sap is the ideal thing. So I would say probably if you could say what is the ideal thing to do with the Gadget Sand, what you want to do is you want to get a few cards from it. You don't want to go overboard. You don't want to be drawing like 10 cards from it. You know, I mean, you can. I mean, it's possible, but it's not really of any real value to actually do that. You know, really what you want to do is say this Gadget Sand is basically a 4/4 for 6 that draws 4 cards, say, or 3 cards. That is good value. If you imagine what if you just imagine, you know, you could just imagine, compare it to say a sprint where you get no minion on the board. That's what you have to say. Is this Gadget Sand getting good value? And most of the time, you do Gadget Sand. Say you do a Sap, and then you do a Deadly Poison, and maybe a Backstab. So that's gonna help you to really get that good value from it. Just 2 or 3 cards. The first one maybe gets slightly less. Maybe just get 2 cards from it. But still, 2 cards. I mean, think about it. 2 cards from it. Compare it to the now nerfed Ancient of Law, for instance, which was a 5/5 for 7 that got you 2 cards. So this will get you 2 cards for 6, and it's a 4/4. Pretty comparable. And now that card's been nerfed, you're going to get 1 card. That makes it. I mean, this would be better with 2 cards. So think about those sorts of the sort of value you're getting out of it like that. And yeah, and again with removal, you have to always think. It's always that question of do I wait for the removal or do I, you know, it's like, oh, I don't want to use the Eviscerate, it's such a good card. I don't want to just use it on this crap minion of theirs. Problem is, if you don't do that, you just do nothing, you end up just taking massive damage and losing. So what you want to do is throw out all these cards are for use, you know. You can keep the Eviscerate to just use it. Just use it. Use the Eviscerate. Because, you know, I mean, you might, for all you know, you might have 2 shivs in your hand and you might do 12 damage with the shivs at the end of the game. You know, if they get, you know, especially if they get down to 1, you know, and you get more cards. So yeah, I mean, really, the amount of damage it does. This is why Shiv is such a good card. Shiv is often sort of seen as 1 damage. You know, it's like, that's shit. But of course, you can get a lot more damage than that. I like to use Azure Drake. Using Azure Drake Fan of Knives is a great combo as well. Really strong combo, just for that 2 damage area effect, that Holy Nova style. So yeah. But yeah, like I say, it's just a super great deck to play, so thanks for watching.